without the knowledge I'm about to share, no matter how beautiful you are, no matter how hard you manifest, broken men will keep finding you. Every time. And the story of Liz is a perfect example of why. Why did Liz end up with the guy who turned out to have serious financial issues? Most likely because she was blinded by how much he spent on her upfront. $1 million in the beginning, which is, to be fair, very convincing. I would also probably stop asking questions, but she probably never looked closely at his actual income streams. How stable are they? How is his business actually working? How much does he make per year? And for how long? You need to know the trend. Does he have savings? And how much? How does he behave in financial crisis moment? You need answers to all of these, not just vibes, but actual answers. Women fall in love with an illusion. We all know it's an illusion, but it's painful to admit, because that means you would have to stop and walk away. And walking away from someone who just spent a lot of money on you, even if it's not $1 million, even if he did something else besides spending money on you, even if he closed some kind of gap that you had in your heart or some kind of trauma that you had, just walking away is a lot to ask. It is hard spiritually, it is hard emotionally, and of course, the hardest part is often financially. But you need two things to understand here. First, a man who behaves like this in the beginning, that's a preview of how he will behave when you have an actual family. And that road often leads to death, specifically your death. Second thing is that women who forgive and understand his situation are not the ones men fall in love with. They are the ones men take advantage of. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Why beautiful and spiritual isn't enough? Because you all girls want a rich man, a rich husband, a rich somebody to take care of you, and he's gotta have like set of skills to become your partner. And then you wonder why you can never find one, or you end up with some total pricks. So let me tell you why. A man with a trust fund marries a girl with a trust fund 99% of the time. The only time he chooses a regular girl is when she is not that regular. She's gotta either have perfect love settings, high cultural and social value, money she made herself. Usually you need all three of those if we are talking about guys from rich families. Self-made guys are a little bit easier, but still, please watch a video I have about male archetypes, and self-made guys are usually the archetype of a king or a warrior, and they are not so easy to be with, and they require a very specific kind of woman. So please go and watch that. Let's break down what love settings actually means. Love settings is your ability to create a certain atmosphere in the relationship. For example, we all know these witches who, in our opinion, are not smart, not good enough in some ways, but they always have men around them, and they end up marrying a cool guy, and nobody can tell how the hell this happened. So probably that witch is a woman who's got a perfect love settings. It is a very wide topic, and if you want, we can talk about it in depth. I will only cover like few things here. What it includes first is your charisma. Charismatic people win this freaking life. We all know that. Knowing how to play a real love game. Not your desperation, not chasing a guy, not sending hey at 2 a.m. and calling it feminine energy. The next thing is the ability to fully rely on yourself. And shout out to Liz to always talk about that. By the way, this video is not trying to bring her down or telling she did anything wrong. And I'm so mad at these comments that I got on TikTok, and I can actually see sometimes how videos I make, they get into like her fan feed, or they get into like her haters feed. This, for example, got very specifically to her haters feed, and they all wrote the same type of comments, and I'm shocked people can like think like that. I really don't understand like how you guys are so perfect, you're so like secure, you know for sure you will never make any mistakes, and it's just you act like you have guarantees from the God himself, and you're just like have it all covered when you don't. Like nobody does. So like please chill. Life is like a crazy freaking experience that we have to go through as these spiritual beings, like being in these material bodies and living this material thing through. So please, like, have some grace. Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. The ability to fully rely on yourself, which is impossible as long as you're still searching for a parental figure in your partner. About this, please watch the previous video. We spoke about it in depth. And it requires zero pressure on other person in a relationship. And that is the part where most of you have serious issues. Most fundamentally is not making a man the central figure in your life after a few dates. I mean, even after you get married. That's the only way to have long-term relationship that grow and that evolve and not just slowly die. And it's not because you're playing some sort of game. I also made a video about that. You can watch like the Black Cat Energy video. You don't have to pretend someone you're not. It's not how it works. It's because your life is genuinely interesting to you. That is what makes you magnetic. That is the energy everybody strives for. That is the energy everybody wants. Is the disciplined person who has their shit together and who doesn't need to rely on somebody else in order to survive or in order to have fun or in order to, I don't know, make their life beautiful. You can do it yourself. You are cool by yourself. Yes, you are happy with another person. Me, for example, I love my husband. I'm very happy with him. But I know that anything can happen. This is life. I don't have it like guaranteed that we will be together till the end. Like, even though he is the love of my life, and even if we break up or something happens, it will stay that. Like, he will forever be the love of my life. I'm starting to cry when I'm speaking about that. But it doesn't mean that I have it like guaranteed. And I get that, like I understand that. Okay, now let's get to the root of the problem. Why she actually chose the broke guy. Here's what's actually happening underneath all of this. When you haven't resolved your relationship with your parents or with any authority figures in your life, you start looking for a replacement. And that person ends up on the pedestal. Like, you bring them up unconsciously. You idealize them. You overlook all the red flags. You are not choosing the partner. You are looking for a rescue, which is romantic in the movies, but in real life, it's just expensive. And we can all see that right now. How to actually fix this? Step 1, find new reference figures. A coach, a therapist, could be someone respected in your community, someone you genuinely trust. The goal is to slowly replace old unconscious belief about what important male or female figure looks like. The cheapest way is actually therapy. Because when you pay money to someone, consciously knowing that they will become your parental figure, and for this year you will store all your shit like on them, you will put out like everything you've gone through, and it will be balanced relationship instead of like finding someone who is not getting anything in return. One warning here: be very careful with spiritual gurus in this context. Many of them, consciously or not, they keep you dependent. Because the moment you actually grow up and become self-sufficient, you stop buying from them or you stop investing in their community, because a lot of those communities are free and they're just sects. It's a whole different topic, but yeah. The good ones, of course, they help you become independent, but those are so rare. The bad ones keep you coming back for the next retreat, the next ceremony, the next level, etc. Step 2. You will have to take off people of the pedestal. It is a cycle where you idealize someone, you get disappointed when they do something human, for example, mistake or something shitty. You start search for the new person. It's a cycle. You just have to realize that nobody is perfect. Every living human being on earth has their shit. Like, there is no perfect people. Step 3 is therapy. Try to avoid purely online platforms when possible. Like, therapy in person, of course, tends to go deeper for like this kind of work. And yes, I know it's probably more expensive, but it's kind of like pay for the therapy or pay for the wrong guy. Oh, therapy and coaching, by the way. Step 4, grounded spirituality. I say grounded specifically because it's very easy to drift into a world of pink unicorns and wake up 2 years later doing women's circles in Bali with no idea how to pay your rent. The most reliable starting point here is meditate on your own. If you want a teacher, like some authentic Buddhist Lama, preferably Tibetan, it is like one of the few times where the practice leads to your liberation, but also like not everywhere. So it is really hard to talk about spirituality like in general. We cannot generalize that. You can free yourself in Christianity, like you can free yourself in most of religions, but in any of those you need a really like good teacher, which is sometimes hard to find. So therapy is kind of more reliable. If you want, send me your situation in DMs and I will read that, and I will try to make videos about your problems, your issues that addressed specifically to you, or I will try to reply as much as I can. I want you to know that this offer is exclusive for now, while I only have like 17 subscribers on this Instagram page. Yeah, and like the more this account grows, of course, I will not be able to do that anymore. So while you have this opportunity, you can use it. Please let me know what kind of videos would you like me to make next. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.